This is Coach Dave with Crossroads Adaptive Athletic Alliance with Coach Ann. We're going to walk through the deadlift progressions for a CP athlete. So where typically we start in a seated position depending on the level of CP, depending on the athlete themselves. So right now Ann is going to demonstrate how she starts with a deadlift, kettlebells on both sides. Before we get to there, whenever you're working with a CP athlete, understand that athlete. Understand the cues you need to give them. Understand the movement itself. So with Ann, just bend back over. Now right now, I can see that Ann is rounding her back. So I'm going to give her a touch cue to tighten up, and now she's going to pick the bell. Better. Good. Drop back down. Rounding, rounding. Tight. Light. Right here, tight, pull up. Good. So depending on the stability of the athlete and as they progress, the next thing we like to look at is an assisted rig deadlift with either a kettlebell, a dumbbell, or whatever weight the person can maneuver appropriately while staying safe. So when you look at Ann, how she's focused, we talked a little bit about the rounding of the back. So before she starts, I'm going to give her that cue so she starts tight. Now, she's going to assist on the one side. She's going to focus on the kettlebell. She's going to tighten up. And she's going to make sure that this shoulder stays closed so she doesn't come all the way out because she's assisted by that. She's going to go back down. Now, don't get freaked out when you see the knees coming forward, especially on a CP athlete. Their footing, their approach to doing some of these movements is going to be different because in a lot of cases with the spasticity, the heel cord could be absolutely super tight. And so when that happens, their heel might come up, they might go forward. The idea is you don't put them in a compromised position by going up in weight too far. Now, what I would like to see is if Ann goes to the one side, the next step is moving to the other side assisted to continue to build symmetry, right? Here we go. Tight. Pull. Ready? And up. Get that shoulder back. There you go. 1, 2. Outstanding. So our next progression with the CP athlete, like Miss Ann here, is we're going to use what we call an assisted deadlift using this guy as the assist. The idea is to progress the athlete to where they get their own bar, they get their own weights, and they have something that they can do by themselves. So Miss Ann here has gotten pretty advanced at this, but when she started really depending on the wall, right? Why don't you show them how you set up? Now right away I can tell, there you go, right here, there we go. Her hips weren't listening, and she was focused only on the upper body. The cues that I'm giving her are her shoulder and really working on her hips. If she doesn't, she's going to be rounded. As she pulls up, there's going to be 3 or 4 times the first time you do this where it may not look perfect. Don't freak out. Go ahead and set the bar down. Now, as she does this, you'll notice that her knees may come out a little bit. Some days they may not. That depends on the mobility and the spasticity of that heel cord, of the knees, where the hips are going to be. That doesn't preclude them from doing the movement. As that movement progresses, right, you're able to step off the wall and you're able to get locked out where you need to be. Sometimes it will get hooked, it'll get caught up on her knees. The cue that works best for her, works best for a lot of us too, but specifically when it gets stuck, is to be pushing the floor, not pulling with your arms. Some people do a reverse grip, but for Ann, with her adaptation, keeping the grip the same as she pulls and pushes through the floor. Eventually you'll progress to where you can deadlift without the wall. and the same cues apply.